we are back with another episode of Wytchwood with our cozy gaming. And last time we finished up the leech, and next I think it is time to go hunting some bear. I am Edith Ivy and we are playing Wytchwood. Right, and I recall a gentleman with a cart down near the fields. Well, hello. Oh, hello there. Sorry, I think I managed to get most of this debris off the road. Looks like you've made a fine wreck. What on earth happened to your cart? Yes, well, you see, I was sent on a very important mission by order of my captain, the bear. The bear, you say? What sort of mission? It's my job to make sure the lakeshore camp is well stocked with provisions, but most importantly, a steady supply of honey for the bear's favorite mead. I was just on my way back from the apiary with a cart full when a deer or something darted out of nowhere. Jostled my poor mule so bad she broke her bridle and run off. My own heart nearly leapt out of my ribcage. Piled the darn cart right into the ditch, she did. Now every barrel is smashed and I can't bring myself to report back empty-handed. The bear will have my guts for garters, I'm sure of it. This bear sounds like quite a brute. Oh, you don't know the half of it. If he doesn't get his honey mead, heads will roll. Maybe you could lend me a hand? I can't very well put this broken cart back together. No, nothing like that. But could you take a message to the sergeant at the lakeshore camp? He's a reasonable fellow. Let him know what happened, and maybe he can get me out of this bind. You can get to the lakeshore camp if you follow the road to the northwest of here. I need to stay with the cart and assess the damages. Oh, dear. New chapter, the bear. Alright. Following the road to the northwest. Is this a road to the northwest? If I get lost, I get lost. I have a map. Lakeshore Path.
Hey, where do you think you're going? Yeah, no one but us soldiers are allowed inside the lakeshore camp.
Get out of my way. I have urgent news of your quartermaster. I need to speak with your sergeant.
Urgent? Only thing that's urgent is the line for the latrine. Or if the captain hasn't had his drink. That's right. Captain Bear is in a right foul mood. You can't come in unless you want a good thrashing.
The guard almost has to shout over the clattering din coming from inside the camp.
You heard him. It's dangerous in there. Wouldn't have the heart to let a frail old granny like you near that beast.
One guard turns to the other with a conspiratorial shrug.
Yeah, but who are we to say what's good for her health? Oh, yeah, you're right. We might be convinced to, look the other way if we was fairly compensated. Right, fairly compensated, of course. We'll be sticking our necks out after all.
The guards hold their hands out expectantly, like children begging for candy. You carefully press 3 heavy gold pieces into the palm of the waiting guard. There, I expect you two can divide them evenly amongst yourselves.
Right, 1 for you and 2 for me. What? You mean 2 for me and 1 for you? I'm the one who has all the real guarding around here. You still owe me for that game of dice you lost. You cheated me! Give me them coins!
The two guards fall into fisticuffs and roll into the bushes, leaving the gate to the camp wide open. Soot sprites, is there any greater joy? Ooh, blood in a poultice. As you cautiously approach, the bear drains the last of his enormous tankard and smashes it against the head of a nearby soldier, knocking the hapless man to the ground. That is some charming art there.
And then I walloped him just like that. So next time I catch any of you cowards turning tail, I'll scatter you like a fish and leave your guts for the gulls.
Suddenly noticing that his drink has gone dry, the bear bellows to the skies.
More mead, you yellow-bellied worms! More drink! Bring me my delicious honey mead!
The soldiers taking cover nearby exchange nervous glances at each other, none wanting to confront the bear. There is no more honey mead. The bear wipes a strand of drool from his sagging lips, and his bleary eyes slowly focus on you. A mocking smirk splits his face as he waves at you with his great spiked mace.
Say, now that's a funny-looking helmet, soldier. I ever tell you about the time I crushed the bucket-headed barbarians of the Western Mountains?
You decide that now is a good time to leave the bear to his ramblings, rather than make yourself an unfortunate prop in his war stories. The bear kicks an empty tankard at you as you retreat back into the camp.
That's right! Go get me more mead, you good-for-nothing sluggard!
Are you a sergeant? Nope. Ah, that man has a feather in his hat. The frenetic-looking officer shouts hurried orders at whoever will listen, but most of the camp soldiers are busy cowering or knocked out cold.
Man the gates! You over there, secure the perimeter! We just need to hold this a little longer! Sir, we're running out of men! Where's the damn shipment of honey?
You step over an unconscious footman to address the man in charge. I might be able to answer that question.
Who let this old bat into the camp?
I found your quartermaster. He's having a bit of cart trouble on the road. I'm afraid your shipment isn't going to get here anytime soon.
What? Oh, curse my rusty britches. Without the honey and other supplies, we can't make the honey mead. The bear's gonna flatten the whole camp when he finds out.
The camp looks half flattened already. What's all this ruckus about?
Well, the bear is the greatest warrior there ever was, which is granted all that when we're fighting the enemy. But once we set up camp, he likes to use us poor sods as playthings to reenact his conquests. The only thing the bear loves as much as fighting is drinking. Guzzles up so much honey mead we have to brew it right here in the camp just to keep up.
He points to a squat-looking device tucked near some tents, a portable brewery.
Without that shipment of ingredients, I don't see how we can ever calm the bear down. He'll smash us all into paste before the sun sets.
Let me take a look at this brewery of yours. If the bear is so in love with brawling and boozing, then perhaps it's about time he received a dose of his own medicine. You inspect the brass contraption. A tank here, a hopper there. The bitter smell of alcohol is infused into the well-worn metal. Despite the needlessly complicated dials and tubing, at the end of the day, the brewery is really just a fancy cauldron. This seems simple enough. I should be able to concoct just the potion for your troubles. The rattled sergeant shrugs his shoulders at you.
Sure, if you think it'll help. But you'll need to fuel the darn thing first. Our supplies are a mess, so you'll have to figure it out on your own.
You open up the brewery to inspect its complicated innards. Well, we need a jar of we need 5 jars of water, 8 twigs, which we'll probably need some of those to make a cinder box. Alright. How does one make a cinder box? Oh, sweet. So we just need a whole bunch of jars of water. We need soot sprites and clay in abundance. Come on, soot sprites. Well, at least we're getting embers. Oh, we're not too far from that potter. Let's keep our hatchet out because, if I recall correctly, taking a hatchet to logs also could yield us clay. Or not. I could be mistaken. I can hear you. Where did you go? Haha. Alright, let's see if we can sneak past this doggo to get to the other side. Oh no, the soot sprites running right at him. We aggroed the doggo! Anything else in there? We need 5 jars of water, so we need just a junk ton of clay. Alright. We have enough soot sprites. We need clay. Let's head fieldward. Alright. Because I think clay was fairly common in here. Hello, pheasant. You are not made of clay. We need so much. We need 3 clay per jar, so we need a total of 15 clay. Oh, this is gonna take forever. Oh, thank you for yielding 2 clay. Don't need eggs at the moment. Hi, cow. You are a good cow. I love how soothing the music is in this game. Like, genuinely, this is just such good ambient music without making you sleepy. Oh, got a sunflower patch full of gnomes. Ooh, a shiny stone. This game is usually pretty good about spawning supplies. I think if we just run around in circles for a minute, we should be okay. How are we doing on clay? 11. We need 4 more. Oh, there's a fairy ring over here. Let's get some fairy dust and flower petals, because those are a little harder to come by in terms of where one finds one. What are we doing on clay? 2 more. Is that a... Ah, dirt! Leave me alone, gnome. I want no part of you. Okay. There is... Excellent. Need 5 of these. Excellent. We have everything we need. Let's head back to the military encampment. You open up the brewery to inspect its complicated innards. You slosh cool, clear water into the brewery's main tank. Not the best space for potion brewing, but you want to preserve that honey mead flavor. You snap kindling into pieces and scatter it into the bottom compartment of the brewery. Should be fuel enough for the job. With the heat of a cinder box, you set the stove chamber of the brewery alight. It'll bring the tank to a rolling boil. With the hiss of steam and the sound of boiling water, the rattling brewery is ready for the next step in the process. Of course I'll need honey for the mead. That quartermaster said he was coming back from the apiary in the fields, so I best try there. Then I'll need a proper magical binder and a token of the bear to seal the spell. Something in this camp ought to do the trick. The frothing basin of the brewery stands ready for the right ingredients. Alright, I need honey, I need a metamorphosis elixir, and I need a torn teddy bear. I bet there's a teddy in there. Through the open tent flap, you catch a glimpse of pillaged trinkets and treasures scattered about the spacious interior. You surmise that one of these precious objects might contain enough magical essence to use as a token of the bear. Your eyes have only a moment to linger upon the giant fur-lined bed before a hand pulls the door flap shut. The sergeant gives you a disapproving glare as he ushers you away. Hey, you can't go in there! This is the bear's personal tent! You know the kind of hell that would break loose if he finds out someone's been snooping? Don't worry, I'll be careful. Seems like your men are keeping him distracted anyway. You glance over at the bear as he tosses aside a soldier like a sack of potatoes. No way, no how. If you think this is bad, just wait until he finds out there's no more honey mead. If you're so afraid of that stomping brute, why don't you just slip away into the night? Surely it would prolong your life a little. And abandoned all my friends? We soldiers gotta stick together. It's our only chance. If only there was some way to stand up to the bear. A thought seems to cross the sergeant's mind as he notices the potions and baubles hanging about your belt. Say, you're good with magical doodads and what's-its, right? What if you made me some sort of protective charm or talisman? Then I could maybe have a chance against that monster without getting my head stoved in. If I make you a protective talisman, will you let me into this tent? I suppose I wouldn't have much to worry about if you did. Alright. Protective talisman. I need a red thingy. A wicked gemstone. Okay, we need more dog hair. Which means we need a soporific morsel. Which means I need more clay for more jars. Oh, and that's just the first step. I didn't even look at the other ingredients. Hi, bear. Shameful. Absolutely shameful. I like the Lance Connect outfit, though. That's pretty nice. Nice little 16th century German vibe going on. Alright, so for the protective talisman, the wicker work we can make. Alright, we have a need of a doggo hair. And we need cow juice. So we're gonna need at least 2 jars for the talisman. We need a dryad fruit. We need some more ichor, and we need changeling route. So we need to run everywhere and do all the things. Well, first we need clay for jars. We get honey from the apiary in the fields. Alright, we need a whole bunch of clay, so let's go down in the well. Why didn't I think of this before? Because I am frequently a silly goose. Hello, little guy in your little cave. Alright. Is that enough clay? I think that's 2 empty jars worth of clay. And let's make an extra jar. Okay. So we need water. And we need cow juice. Does it bother you when I say cow juice instead of milk? I'm sorry if it does. I just think it's fun and silly. I blame B. Dylan Hollis on TikTok and the way he goes, "Moo juice!" It is very pleasing to my brain. But one can't outright copy him, can we? So, cow juice. Alright. I need to accost a cow. Check. And I need to grab me some water. Boom. So, need a U. And, oh, how do I get a changeling route? Alright. Thinking logically. Yeah. I need to not get distracted in the middle of things. Okay, so for the protective talisman, all I need left is the doggo hair. And for that, I need you, which I can now make. So that's easy enough. And then for the metamorphosis elixir, I need a dryad heart. Which if I remember correctly from when we looked at it the other day, it was a cinder box for that. And I need... There's a whole bunch of changelings in the vegetal farmer's field. He uses them for manual labor. Changeling. I need to grab it and hatchet it. On here. I'm going to grab the clay. Alright. Let's grab a couple. We don't know when we'll need them again. Oh, it makes baby coos when you get close. Now we need a dryad heart and doggo hair. So back to the forest with us. Ha ha ha. That is a very satisfying whack noise. Hello, doggo. I need your hair. Such a pretty doggo. Such a good boy. Alright. That is that. Alright, now let's go get that dryad fruit. I hope I remembered the cinder box correctly. We're gonna witch's sight this guy before we lay our life on the line, as it were. Hello there. Yes, cinder box. Oh! That is a lot. Well, hopefully he can put himself out. I feel kind of bad now. We just need to go back up to the swamp for some bug ichor. Hi, Goblin. Okay. Let's queue up our bait stick to catch ourselves a dragonfly. Perfect. Risky clay. That is that. And we need to go to the apiary. I haven't the faintest idea if I'm saying apiary correctly. Oh good, they put themselves out. I don't know what I was expecting when it said use a cinder box, but I am glad the dragon was able to put himself out. Or herself. Now, the apiary was along the left side of the map, because we kept finding it when we were looking for a way back to the forest. Heidi-ho, I'm afraid we're closed for the season. Closed? But I need some of your honey right away. Sorry, our supply was cleaned out just a little while ago. Funny little man with a card, you just missed him. Yes, I met him. He's the quartermaster for the bear, but he had a bit of an accident on the road. I need to collect some more honey for the lakeshore camp. The bear? Well, that explains why the quartermaster purchased so dang much. I heard that lumbering bully would steal the nectar from a larva if it'd suit him. My poor bees have already worked themselves half to death for that order, and they don't have any honey left. I wish I could do something to help you, but the only honey left in the entire apiary is Her Majesty's personal reserve. Her Majesty? Why, my sweet spring flower, the jewel of my crown, the golden son of my... Yes, get on with it. My beloved queen, she's as lovely as she is wise and resides over her flowered kingdom. A shrill voice pierces the meadow and sends chills down your spine. Slave! Where is my dinner? I order you to bring me the finest sunflowers. Right away, my love. And make it pretty this time. I don't want another one of your dandelion bouquets like some common wasp. Yes, my sweet. I think I had better have an audience with this queen myself. Are you the queen? You are not the queen. Oof. You did a sting upon me. That was unkind. Gonna steal your reedy twine in your jar, see if I don't. Oh my. No, shoot, don't sting me. The regal insect looks down her curled nose at you scornfully. That fool beekeeper is supposed to stop the rabble from trampling my delicate garden. Good help is so hard to find, isn't it? And I suppose you've come to lend a hand? No, I don't think so. What do you want, little beetle? You seem like a very busy woman, so I won't waste your time. I need honey. Your best honey. She tilts her long neck back and lets out a buzzing laugh. Do you think I simply give my carefully cultivated riches to just any commoner? Do you have any idea how much time and energy is spent managing this colony? Everyone always wants something, but no one ever wants to work for it. In a rustle of petals, the beekeeper comes running over, holding out an assortment of beautiful prairie flowers. My darling sweetheart, I offer you the finest meadow flowers. I hope you find these to your liking. Is this marigold? You wax-brained fool! You know I despise the stuff. How many times must I repeat myself? Get out of my sight, all of you!
My love, I have wronged you. Let me try again. You follow the beekeeper a short distance away while he busies himself picking more flowers.
She seems to be in a foul mood. Does she always treat you like this?
Well, yes. But it's really my own fault. Sometimes she really gets her venom up, and a bit of smoke and soothing herbs calms her right down.
Smoke, you say? I'm sure I could come up with something to even out her mood. Alright, we need to make some royal incense. I need that. And I need some water. Yeah, I just need some water. Heckin' bees. My goodness. Everywhere. I don't suppose there's a water pump somewhere in here. Nope, we're gonna have to go back into the fields. Alright. Make sure that I am making the correct thing. Alright. Waste not the clay. I don't want to get stung. You sneak! Do you honestly believe that your little puff of smoke can... The queen fans herself lightly as the world begins to push and pull all around her. Ooh, does anyone else feel a little hot? Anyways, as I was saying, you can't just... The sparkling sun bears down on the queen like a warm summer's embrace. My, look at all these beautiful colors. Have they always been so bright? The queen bee stretches her arms across the sea of flowers, brushing the tips of their petals gleefully. She arcs her limbs through the myriad of colors swirling about her head. It's gorgeous! Oh, and what's that delicious smell? Cracking into the waxen walls of her hive, the queen pulls out a golden honeycomb. She proceeds to messily stuff the honey into her face. Delectable! Oh, it's so good! You simply have to try some, my dear. I've never tasted anything so delicious in my life. She offers up a sticky handful to you. Why, thank you, my queen. And that is some honeycomb. Oh, and flower petals. Right, I think that's everything we need to do the next step of the bear, which is to break into his tent and steal his teddy bear. That's right, Turkey. Rage! Alright, let's give this sergeant. If I make you a protective talisman, will you let me into this tent? I suppose I wouldn't have much to worry about if you did. Boom, protective talisman. Here, this ought to shield you from harm, for a time. He grins nervously as he puts the charm around his neck, and he clobbers himself in the face with his own fist. Wow! You weren't kidding, huh? Though that's nowhere near the kind of punishment the bear can dish out. Did you just punch yourself in the face to check this talisman? I better find some more stuff to test it out with. Then I'll give that bear a piece of my mind. He stumbles off into the camp to find other objects to try against his newfound protection, leaving the bear's tent unattended. Oh my. Look, a chest. It's got meat and a jar. Oh, I will take that jar. And a torn teddy bear. A ragged toy bear, well loved and well beyond its prime. Anything else I can filch? I am concerned by the hatchet. Yeah, hatchet throwing targets. The frothing basin of the brewery stands ready for the right ingredients. Add something to the brew, some honey. As you squeeze the honeycomb with your bare hands, thick, rich honey slowly oozes into the brewery's tank. Too sweet for your taste, but then, this potion is not for you. You ladle out a good portion of the writhing, tar-like substance into the brewery. To be safe, you add a little bit more, just for texture. You pause before dropping the tattered plaything into the brewery. A glint in its button eyes reminds you of something, but the thought soon evaporates from your mind. You overturn your palm and the stuffed bear splashes down into the concoction. It floats sadly for a moment before becoming waterlogged and disappearing under the surface. With the addition of the final ingredient, the brewing equipment is sealed and set to work. Steam hisses from rivets and its swollen metal belly clanks and rattles. Before long, the waggling figures of the gauges and dials settle down, indicating that the brew is complete. You give it a quick sniff test and recoil at the sickeningly sweet vapors. You push an empty wooden keg under the contraption's spigot and crank the release valve. The brewery strains under the pressure and fills the keg with chunky, oozing fluid. Might not be the finest honeymead around, but hopefully that great raging galoot won't stop to notice the difference. Alright, we have a large keg. Let's give the bear his honeymead. Ah. I am a simple woman with simple pleasures. Alright. Ah, Captain! I brought you more honeymead! The bear swipes up the tankard with his massive paw and tosses the contents into his slavering maw without hesitation. He licks his chops, savoring the peculiar flavor. With a sudden jerk, he bears down on you with suspicion.
Say, this tastes kind of funny. What did you do, soldier?
It's a new recipe. I thought you might enjoy something with a little more sting in it.
Rah! You know I hate new things. I'll teach you to mess with my favorite brew, you hayseed.
The bear is upon you with frightening speed. He rages the huge mace in his paw skyward, and you brace for the impact. But with an equal measure of speed, the sergeant leaps between the crushing mace and your head. You peer through your fingers as a great clang resounds through the camp. The bear roars furiously as his blow is magically repelled from the sergeant's talisman. The mace goes spinning out of his paw and falls into the lake with a great splash. He gapes, dumbfounded, as the sergeant stands before him completely unharmed. Ha! That'll teach you to pick on us, you big oaf! This has been a long time coming! The sergeant wags his finger at the bear. Who do you think you are, huh? You think you're so big and tough with your fancy feather hat and your big honkin' club? Well, look at you now! He's actually quite Landsknecht, very 16th century German. The camp soldiers gather to witness in stunned awe. Miraculously, the bear seems to shrink in the face of the sergeant's onslaught. If it was up to me, you'd be dishonorably discharged for disorderly conduct. You're a disgrace to the uniform. You're no captain of mine. With fear welling up in his eyes, the bear shrinks and shrinks until he is reduced to the size of a small cat. And another thing, what's happening? In place of the bear's drunken grimace is the stitched smile of a doll's grin. Two button eyes stare back at the disapproving faces surrounding the little plush toy. The sergeant takes a step back to reveal the small shape of a stuffed teddy bear where the brute once stood. Your transformative potion has finally done its work.
Gee, I guess I overdid it?
He scratches his head in befuddlement, but seems genuinely relieved.
Hey, Sarge. I guess that means you're in charge now, right? Oh, yeah, I guess it does. Well, what are you all standing around for? The camp's a mess. Let's get to work.
You pick up the diminutive doll and brush some sand out of its fur. As you inspect it further, its head lolls to face you. Far within the glassy surface of its button eyes, you can barely make out a tiny crimson flame, the trapped soul of the bear.
This ought to be what the old goat is after. I hope he's happy.
And that is the soul of the bear. And I think it is time to head back home. Oh, hey! What a relief. With the bear gone, we can all rest easy. I feel like you will be plenty busy cleaning up his mess. And that is the bear. Thank you so very much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you so much. If you have liked this cozy content, please leave a like, a comment, maybe even subscribe and ring that notification bell. And I hope you have a happy time zone wherever in the world you are. I have been Edith Ivy. This has been Wytchwood. And tune in next time for the last of our first 4 souls, the snake in the forest.